welcome back to Scealta. This is episode number 4 or 3.5 maybe, I'm not sure. I'm here in Ansan city today on a beautiful October afternoon with my good friend Soomee Han. Soomee, we've known each other just over a year now. Soomee is a driving force behind the trad scene in Seoul. She gets all of the trad heads from out under all the rocks in all parts of the country, and she drives the weekly sessions, bi-weekly or fortnightly now, and a monthly session in Seoul, among other things. So Soomee, what's the crack?
I'm great, thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Soomee, so let's start at the beginning, really. How did you get into trad music?
When I was little, I needed to study English, so I listened to English pop song, and then the chorus music I find it attractive. So, and I like the sound of tin whistle and baron, so that's why I learned about Irish instrument. And then when I started my work at school, my co-teacher was from Ireland, and then I told him I like Irish music, and then he gave me a whistle before he went back to Ireland, and then I found that it is like destiny. Yeah, I think I should be more serious about playing that tin whistle. So I played by myself, and then after a year, there was a session in Seoul, like 10 years ago.
What year was this we talking that you started?
Probably 2010.
So you had
December.
You had already had an interest in Irish music for several years before that, and then around 2010 you started playing
at the session.
Yeah.
And then it feels really nice playing along with the other people. Yeah.
Did you know the tunes already?
Oh, they shared a list of tunes from foreign sessions, so I practiced, but I never played those tunes with the people in Seoul. So I felt very, how can I say, very amazing to be able to play with people that I don't know well.
What was the setting? Was it like a traditional Irish setting in a pub? It was the Wolfhound, was it?
No, it wasn't a Wolfhound. It was Free Heart. There was some kind of pub or restaurant in Hongdae. And there was a big table, and there like 8 people were gathered around, and then we played the tunes from the list.
Yeah.
8 whistles, 1 guitar,
1
fiddle, 1 accordion, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it the fact that there were 8 whistles that led you into other instruments? Because you're a multi-instrumentalist, you play...
Yeah, so we started with 8 whistles, but later on, some players couldn't make it to the session, so we didn't have an accompanist. But when I saw a guitar on the wall, so at the cafe, I just tried accompanying, and then just the G, C, D.
Okay.
And then they loved it. So I thought I think I can do a company for the other people, because I know the tunes, and then I'm kind of got bored of playing the same tunes on and on on my whistle. So if I move on to another instrument, because the playing style is quite different from instruments to instruments, so I feel different even though I play the same music. Yeah. So I find it interesting. So I touched mandolin, guitar, and then I got injury from playing the guitar, so I gave up. And then fiddle, flute, and then concertina, and at last to this instrument, harp.
How do you think the session got going in Seoul at that stage? Was it like Irish people who started it before you arrived, or?
I don't know well, but when I joined the session, there were a member of people who plays Irish music. Back then there was a band called Bard.
Right.
Yeah. They had an Irish friend, and then they went to Ireland together to experience Irish music, and then after they coming back from Ireland, they released an album full of traditional Irish music and some of their compositions in Irish style. I like that a lot. And then they started the session in Hongdae, and they say they went to the session with Irish people in some other area in Seoul. So probably, there were people before me who started the session. I think Haeyoung, she was one of them.
And Haeyoung would have already been to Ireland and back as well. So this probably inspired you to go to Ireland yourself then, did it?
But I kind of got along with different group of people. So in my group there was Yenny. She's now a dancer. But back then she was just playing the mandolin, and then she told me about the trip to Ireland just for music and dancing, and then she said, "Oh, you can learn Irish music better in Ireland, especially during the flag cure." So that made me dream about.
Did you not know about that before?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I only knew about the chorus music. Music of the chorus.
People are surprised when they learn about the flaciole, because it's like, I think recent numbers, there's like 250,000 people going to attend each flaciole. So what year did you decide to make the pilgrimage?
So my first flaciole was in 2014.
2014.
The flaciole was held in Sligo. And then, I can now talk about the harp. So on my...
What instrument were you going to Sligo with?
I just brought my whistle. And then I took the whistle class there. But before so on my first day to arrive in Sligo, it was Sunday morning, and I needed to go to the service in the church. So I'm a religious person. So I checked the location of the church in the morning, but the service hasn't started yet. So I just walked around the town, Sligo town. And then there was Michael Rooney. Michael Rooney was playing the harp for the broadcasting. So I could witness his playing with my own eyes, and it was amazingly beautiful.
Was he on stage?
No, he was just playing by the river.
The Garavog.
The Garavog, and several people just were watching him, and I was standing just across the street, and then taking a video with my phone. Wow.
Do you know what he was playing? Do you remember the tune at all?
Yeah, I remember the tune. The first one is Talak. So Irish word is kind of difficult to pronounce.
Sure.
The first one is Talak on Eshke.
On Ishka?
Yeah. And it's called Newfoundland. And then the second one is Briudlak Nanol. So,
that's good pronunciation, better than mine.
Oh, really? So those tunes are very different from each other, and then I love the transition of the mood from the slipjig and to that harp piece, and then
it's very different, his style. Like it's his chords. I notice you use a lot of his kind of embellished chords in your playing as well.
And percussive effect.
So. You went back to Sligo, or with a love of the harp, or did you act on that first impression of the harp while you were in Ireland, or did you meet the man, or what?
No, I just saw him nearby the river, and he was also in the Cayley band, and that Dartley Cayley band, and that band was also promoting their new album, second album. So I went to see their concert.
In Sligo,
In Sligo.
And when you were in Ireland the first time, did you just stay in Sligo for the flaciole?
Sligo, and then I went to Galway, Dublin, and home.
Did you see any sessions in Galway or Dublin? Or join in on any?
So I was very, very shy
Yeah,
to join.
that's understandable.
So
yeah.
I just stood
Yeah.
among people and then just watched the session. Yeah.
And then, so you came back with, how long before you started thinking about taking up the harp?
So
Because you play the concertina too, right?
Yeah,
So when did that happen?
so it was on the same period. So
Right.
During the school Asia,
Okay.
I was walking in the hallway in the school, and there was a girl just sitting on the floor playing concertina. You know, this small hexagonal thing, and then I found that I found it was interesting because I wanted to play the accordion, but the accordion is quite big and heavy. And when I saw the concertina, it was small, much smaller, and then the sound was similar to accordion.
So a little sweeter.
Yeah, a little sweeter.
Yeah.
And then, so I thought, I should get one. So I bought a beginner concertina that year, and then went back. And then I found that, I need to buy a better one.
So where did you buy it? In Korea?
In Ireland.
You bought, so this is after Sligo?
After Sligo.
So you came back to Seoul and then you went back to another flat? Or?
So in 2014, I purchased a beginner concertina, and in 2015, a year later, I went to Sligo again for the flat.
Yeah.
And then that time, I focused on learning the concertina.
Right.
And I bought my second concertina there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that 2015. I went to Fico.
Yeah.
Sligo, and then home.
Okay. Because if we fast forward 2022, I arrived in Seoul and immediately looked for the Irish music. And there wasn't a session started, we were just coming out of COVID, and then you started this session in the Crack House, which was newly opened. And I thought, great session. So I brought my banjo, and for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm an amateur banjo player. I can play some of the, particularly my repertoire. Like I know the standard of standards, and that's. So I thought we'd play the standards, and then I found myself just hugging my banjo for a lot of the session. I don't know any of these tunes. There was a lot. It was a big session. But you guys were playing tunes that I'd never heard before, and it was later that I discovered, I think maybe that session actually, that was a night of tunes from Scealta. And I was thinking, like, how are we in Seoul playing almost exclusively tunes from Scealta? So how did that happen? Because then another night it's tunes from Fico, and then another night it's tunes from South Kerry, and then West Clare on another night. So and it's not just you, but how did that happen? How did it arrive at a point in Seoul where people are not just playing Irish music, but playing sub-genres of Irish music?
Sub-genre. So there are a group of people who plays Irish music in Korea, and then they've been playing like 10 years, and then that big the long period of time makes people think about what kind of style they love, and what kind of music they want to focus. And each of them have a different experience in Ireland, and then different taste in music. So that kind of aspect made all these happen.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Because you do try to keep a theme for the night, so everybody has a chance to play.
There was last year.
Right. Okay. It's moving on a little. I suppose every session has to find its own culture too. It's something that I suppose you can force it, but every session is different, right? You found that in Ireland too. You've spoken to me about Belfast a lot too.
So the trip to Belfast last year, 2022, was a big impression. I had a big impression there. So that Belfast session scene was very I was very impressed
Yeah.
by Belfast session scene. There are many sessions during the week. And then I went to one session and there was just one fiddler there, and then the other players are all the guests.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they can play. And then the next night, the fiddler is there again, and some other player come and then play. And then, yeah.
So you mean the fiddle player on the first night was leading the session, calling the sets?
Yeah. And
did you get a set?
He doesn't call the set. He just so he was quite open to play with anybody. So sometimes he just suggested some set, but somebody plays some tune, then he can just play along. But he's quite a good player. And also I went to the Garrick in Belfast, and there were the session was full of young generations.
Playing really fast.
Yeah, playing really fast.
Yeah.
And I saw one concertina player, one guitar player, and one banjo player at first. And then later on, another bouzouki player joined the session. And then I found from that time, from the moment I kept watching the guitarist and the bouzouki player, because they are all accompanying instrument. And then usually if there are two accompanying instruments, it sounds all over.
Yeah.
The rhythms,
Yeah.
harmonies, all it's not good, goes well with together. But those two players were like twins.
Right.
The rhythms
Yeah.
same, the chord progression doesn't bother each other. It harmonizes very well. So after that, I asked the bouzouki player, "Oh, did you guys record music together or CD together? You have just the perfect." What's the word?
I know what you mean. They're an understanding, I suppose, a musical understanding of each other.
Yeah.
Like,
So it is like they rehearsed their music several times. And then he said, "Oh no, I just come to this session for about 3 months, and then we play like this."
Yeah.
So it was very surprising. So that constant playing, constant session can make music develops
Yeah.
better. So I thought we need that constant session in Seoul, because there hadn't been session during the COVID time, and then we were kind of afraid somebody get COVID-19 during the session. So so after that, I just thought, okay, we need some weekly session or bi-weekly sessions, and some players that commit to the session so that they can come to the session every time and keep playing, and then those repetitive playing time can make them progress.
Yeah. Have you found that? Have you found progress among
course.
the group? Yeah.
So I know 슬기, 은경, Jaden, or Minjung, or Youngjin.
Jaehyuk as well has been,
Youngjin is quite great player.
Yeah.
Probably they will say no, but to me they are really nice player.
Yeah.
But Jaehyuk was kind of a beginner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Haran was a beginner, but after playing at the session every week and playing for the St. Patrick's Day, and then I could see his progress. Yeah, it was amazing.
There's a culture developing in your own session.
Culture. I don't know. I just want to play the harp. So I'm focusing on playing Michael Rooney style or some harp tunes.
Yeah.
many instruments don't play. So I
Yeah,
just
we sidetracked.
appreciate the opportunity.
We sidetracked a little. You were starting to talk about how you began your journey with the harp, and
Okay.
I pulled you back to soul.
Okay.
So yeah, how about you continue with how you? So you saw Michael Rooney play, and you felt inspired. So you learned the concertina.
Yeah, he also played the concertina too.
And
Yeah.
then how did you transition over to the harp then?
So I just had a good chance to buy second-hand harp for a reasonable price.
Here in
Here
in Seoul.
in
Sorry,
Seoul,
I forget
in
we're in
Seoul.
Ansan right now. Yeah.
And then I taught myself, but it was no good. And then
How did you teach yourself with books?
so I just found these materials on YouTube
Okay.
or online. Yeah, so I bought Silky gave me a present,
Okay.
a series of this.
Right.
Yeah. So I studied a lot by myself, but my basics were no good. So I had injuries again.
Yeah.
And I had to stop for a while to recover from it. And some Japanese harpists visited Korea, Uehara Nami, and I got a lesson from her. And then I found that my basics are terrible.
Okay.
So I went to harp class in Seoul for a
Right.
year, learned the basics. And
So you
then,
learned the basics of harp. Is the classical style transferable to the Irish style? Is that
the basics are the same.
Yeah, okay. Because I know in a Irish fiddle players will always tell classical trainers they're holding the bow wrong, but in the harp you start from the same place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't teach me Irish style of harp, so I need to do it my way, and I need to do it myself.
Yeah.
But after that, COVID
Okay, yeah.
outbreaks.
I remember that.
And
yeah.
then so I was very lucky. I just in my head, I would learn from Michael Rooney in late future, like after 10 years, after 20 years, or before I die. And after the COVID-19, Michael Rooney started online Zoom workshop.
Oh wow. Who did he? Is it his own workshop or is he with the?
His own workshop.
Ah, very good.
So June McCormack was giving a flute workshop online Zoom, and Michael Rooney was giving harp workshop, and then I directly enrolled the class.
Right.
Sent money.
Yeah.
And then that's about 4 years ago. I started join that 2:30 in the morning class.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Korean time.
Was it a live?
Yeah, live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you couldn't record it and watch it in the morning.
So back then it was I couldn't do that, but next year Michael Rooney started to give recording of the class. So now if I miss the class, I can always watch it again. But doing the Zoom at the same time, it means a lot.
Yeah, of course. It's personal.
Yeah, personal.
And the fact you're getting up at 2:30 in the morning to do it. But was
now
it
it's
interactive?
3:30 in the morning.
Right.
I move up to advanced class.
You're still doing it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
And there is not only Michael Rooney, but also another harpers from all around the world.
Yeah.
From United States, from Ireland, from Germany, from Japan. So
it's like a workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, and is it interactive? Like, can you raise your hand?
Before each class, we say hi to each other.
That's nice.
And then we have a little bit of small talk. And then Michael Rooney starts teaching. Then we are on mute and listen and play.
How long is a session?
It's about 40 or 50 minutes.
Yeah. So when are you doing that? Once a week or?
It's bi-weekly.
Right.
Twice a month.
Twice a month.
But when it started 4 years ago, it was every week.
Right. Wow.
So.
I mean, I knew you were dedicated, but I didn't know that. I know you drive in to Seoul. You were doing it every week as well. On top of doing that, you were driving into Itaewon to the crack house. A 2-hour drive?
Just to 1 hour.
Just an hour.
Just an hour.
An hour home, right?
Yeah.
An hour and a half, maybe in the.
So if the session is at 8:30,
Yeah.
I can just to drive for an hour.
Okay.
But if the session
It's
is
earlier.
around 7, then
Yeah.
I need to drive an hour and a half. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Traffic jam.
Yeah. We're down. It's now fortnightly, so it was once a week. Are you finding just easing off a little bit is more comfortable? Because
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
And then, even though I love playing Irish music, I need some time off.
yeah, for sure.
So, and
yeah.
if I have some time off, I can get some rest and think of other musics and then practice new things.
Yeah,
And then I have enough time to do my own, and then I can join the session
yeah, yeah.
a few weeks later.
And then in terms of your style, so you're drawn to Michael Rooney, but what is it about his style that's different, or about different? I guess different styles of Irish harp, because there isn't just one way of playing or interpreting the instrument.
Yeah.
What's your approach to it now? I know, like you say, Michael Rooney's inspired you, but
I was inspired by Mike Rooney and also Alicia Kelly.
right,
I love her rhythmic style
Yeah.
of playing and her bass. You know?
yeah,
So in my hands, I have both styles.
Have you found the whistle? You've taken anything from it to the harp as well? Because I know some of the thrills or ornamentation, they're going to be different on the whistle and different again on the concertina. Do you find you've taken those to the harp?
Sometimes, because I use a lot of triplets on the whistle.
Yeah.
So when I play the harp, I can think of some triplet.
Yeah. Would you like to demonstrate something for us? I'll just have to change our camera angle a little bit. But you can just play, or you can introduce what you're doing with your hands and why it's different, or where you learnt it from, or anything like that.
So this one's from Alicia Kelly. So when she plays, she's like... going up and then slowly going back down and then going up and then going back down.
So you're talking about her, like her bass runs?
Yeah. Bass runs, yeah.
So she's more like linear, I suppose you could say. Notice there's more emphasis on the melody. Yeah, and then maybe Rooney, there's a lot more.
Rooney is like, okay. 다시 할게요.
Take your time.
use a lot of tenths.
That's jazz. Yeah.
Tenth and then some. So you know, how can I say it? Or back. Syncopation.
Okay, yeah. So playing on the offbeat. Yeah.
Offbeat.
Yeah. And then how about your own style?
My style?
Yeah.
So I wish I had bigger hands, but my hands are a bit smaller to play first to seventh and seven, 8, 9, 10, 10s together. So I kind of like this. So my style is this. I love seventh chord.
Yeah.
Seventh chord, and I try to just play 10th, not include the middle note.
Right. Yeah, so this seventh, you're leaving a lot of suspense in for the
I
very
love
good.
this
Yeah.
seventh.
So I didn't mention actually why we chose today to do this. Yeah, today is a very special day for harpists,
Yeah,
right?
very, very special day. So it's National Harp Day in Ireland.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, Irish harping is a untangible culture heritage, world culture
So
heritage.
UNESCO accredited. What's the word? Yeah, I recognize. Yeah.
And then, so probably from that year, I don't know, but the harp, there was an organization called Harp Ireland, and they started to celebrate National Harp Day. And when I first joined National Harp Day, it was during COVID times.
Yeah.
And then they were doing the project called Harper's Call. So they ask all the harpers or harpists or any harp players who would like to send their videos. They put the videos together and then premiered on the YouTube on National Harp Day.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to join that project. So I was very nervous playing and then in front of even on my phone. But I believe that recording myself it can be good. Good motivation for me to play more, because when I practice, I record myself, and then I watch it again. I found my weakness, and then I can practice again and then make it better. So 2020, I sent my video, and it was included that Harper's Call project. I was really happy. So it was kind of my alone project, but it's my fourth time to participate in Harper's Call, and then now that I feel more confident in playing the harp in front of the people, I thought I should do something special. And then Harp Ireland also want to get information on harp events in the world. Then I wanted to be included on the list, even though it's very small. So, and then Seán Óg, you mentioned about it in this podcast. And
we've been meaning to do this for a long time.
And then if you're coming to Ansan, then I should get a place. And then I found this place. It's so lovely here. So then I think I can do both interview and then performance after the interview to celebrate Harp Day.
It's the start of something new, maybe hopefully something you can keep going.
And these days I joined some walking club, an English speaking club in Ansan. It's been like 5 months, 6 months, and then I always talk about Irish music to them. So, yeah, I think it's a good chance to show them
very good
what I play.
Yeah. In terms of harpists or harpers, as you call it, is that an Irish term? A harper? I
think so. So they think. I heard that it's different from harpist and harper. Harpist like a classically trained professional musician, and harper is like just for hobby or something like that.
Folk musician, maybe.
Folk musician. Yeah. So.
Have you met any other harpers in Korea? I know there are harpists, but how about
there are a lot of harp players in Korea these days, because the mini harp is getting popular these days. But I love Irish music.
And you're writing too. You're composing too, right?
Yeah. Sometimes some melodies are just stuck in my head, so I just couldn't resist.
And are you writing them, or are you just are you kind of just doing it orally?
So first. The melody is in my head, and then I try on my harp or other instruments, see if I can play that melody. So if I can play the melody, I write down on my phone. So I use an application.
You'll notate it then,
application called Alarm Mode.
Right.
And then it's very good to write ABCs. To make sheet music. So that's how I do, and then I played it on and on, see if it's okay, and then I correct it, edit it, play again, edit it.
You're using a lot of software to
just
help
one
you.
software.
Just this Alarm Mode.
Because clef. Drawing clef is quite difficult. I can do it, but it's difficult.
Try
ABC is quite simple.
Try writing Korean when you've never done it before. So where's you're writing Irish music. Would you say you're writing Irish music?
Because it's in. I usually compose a slip jig or jig.
So you're using the Irish meters to compose, but you're not Irish, and you're not
Korean.
in Ireland. So what would you still call it Irish music?
Irish style music, probably. And
it's really interesting.
Growing up, I listened to a lot of music, rock music, animation music, or new age music, and then I love Seventh Chord.
Right, stick it in wherever you can. I think I always say as well. Definitely. So where are you getting your tunes from? Like where's the inspiration coming from? Is it Korea that's inspiring you? Is it like everyday life, or?
I don't know. Probably just everyday life, or if I see something. Nature. When I first composed a tune, I don't know how it started, but it was in my head everywhere I go, so I just couldn't resist and made it. And then the next year I had to make a tune for backyard tune session, and then I had the melody, 2 parts of melody in my head a few years ago, but I didn't complete it. But after having a good time in Gangcheon Island, in Yeoju, in good nature, melody just came into my head. And this time I made another jig. So in my walking club, we go around the lake twice for an hour. And there was a girl who is very witty, I guess. Witty. And then she just said, so there was a girl whose nickname is Hwarang Yojong, Hwarang Fairy. So like a fairies of Hwarang Lake Park. And then she always and then the girl always goes to Ansan Lake Park, and then she insists to us to call her Lake Park Ferry,
Okay.
호공 요정.
Okay.
And I love that word.
호공.
호공 요정. I
호공
love
요정.
that. Yeah. So after taking a walk around the lake with her, some melody was in my head on my way back home driving. So yeah, I think I thought I should try to make a tune out of this melody because I love that title, 호공요정,
Right.
Lake Park Ferry.
So it seems like nature is a big inspiration for you, and now that you're hill walking, you have endless source of inspiration now. That's great.
Probably.
Yeah, it's great to take your inspiration from something as healthy and as good as that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, especially when you play the harp for a long time, it's easy to lose muscles
okay,
here.
yeah.
And then
Not just playing it, but carrying it.
carrying
Yeah.
is fine because
Okay.
I minimize the length to carry my harp.
Right.
But when I play like this, I have to crouch my back like this, and then it can cause pain in my neck, and it's really no good. But walking like 1 hour, 5 kilometers,
Yeah.
it makes my body
Straighten your back up again. Yeah. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to play the tune? 호공
호공요정?
요정?
호공요정.
호공 요정.
Yes.
I'll just angle the camera back
Okay.
at you there, so. Wow. Masterful. Yeah, it was beautiful, Soomee. So thank you for that, Soomee. That was absolutely masterful. You're playing technique, everything, and it is Irish. You know, I think it does. It makes me feel Irish. But it's about a fairy that you know that you go walking with in a lake in Korea.
So the jig Old Grey Goose.
Okay.
Was, the structure of Old Grey Goose.
Okay.
Was also inspiration.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used this structure.
Right. Yeah. I think we can finish up, Soomee. I just want to thank you again for finally doing this together. It's been really great.
Thank you for visiting.
Yeah, I'll be back. So thank you for listening and watching. Stay tuned for more Scealta episodes and all the YouTube stuff. Click, like, subscribe. Thanks very much, and see you in the next episode. Slán.